Hi, it's Mel. How are you doing tonight? I wanted to just buzz on by and ask, what trials have you ever faced? And had it ever been devastating? And how did you persevere from that? I'd love to hear in the comment section. Let's start with me. You would think 2009 would be such a great year for me, and it was. There were so many different things that happened. It was a wild roller coaster. You see, that's when I left my ex. That is when I finally said enough of domestic violence and abuse. I was done. I couldn't do it anymore. There was also the definite feeling that if I didn't leave, I would definitely not be there by the end of the year. Was definitely something brewing, even more so, and I know I wouldn't have made it. But 2009 was not only just this wonderful awakening for myself, but it also marked just freedoms for me and beauty and grace and find the journey of just finding myself. That wasn't my pivotal year. My pivotal year came in 2015. In 2015, I woke up one morning. I felt so tired. I was exhausted. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I could barely get my butt off the bed. And I tried, and after about an hour, I was just so tired. And I had asked Mr. Awesome, Terry, so I don't know what's wrong with me. And then I felt feverish. I was sweaty. It was in the 90s outside. I was wearing a sweater. Something's not right. I feel like I'm hit by a truck. What the heck is going on? I didn't know what was wrong with me. As the day progressed, I felt awfuler and worse and worse and worse. I couldn't put my finger on it. The only thing that I could think that was different was, I had a little bug bite. I had killed a spider not that long ago, and it was on my thigh, the back of my thigh. But that was the only thing I can think of. Now, that wasn't the first time I had gotten a spider bite. I had one about 2007, I believe it was in 2007. I had a bite, and it was on my hip, and I only know it was a spider because I rolled on it. And it was the same for my thigh. I killed the spider on my thigh. So I had that. Now, back in 2007, it looked kind of nasty. So I went to the ER. The folks at the ER says, you know what, you're just having a reaction to the spider bite. Don't worry about it. It looked like MRSA. My mother-in-law says, you need to go into the hospital. It looks terrible. So that's why I went in. But they just blew me off. They said, you'll feel fine. Just take maybe some pain reliever or something. They gave me a cream to take down the swelling, the redness, and it looked kind of funny, almost like bubbly. It looked like a blister. It had little blisters on it. It looked pretty nasty. So they said, don't worry, it'll go away. So fast forwarding to the future, I had the same type of reaction on my hip. And then I'm not feeling good. And as I remembered later on, I had the same feeling earlier back in 2007. I felt like I was hit by the truck. No one else in the house got sick, so it wasn't the flu. At first I was like, hey guys, don't kiss me, don't hug on me. You might get this. Whatever it is, I don't know what it is. And then I thought, well, it's probably that darn reaction again to the bug bite. So I didn't think anything about it. I just know, hey, I can't be around spiders apparently. As time went on, I got worse and worse. It got to the point where I couldn't get off the couch. I was freezing. I had blankets piled on me. I was shaky. Mr. Awesome had to start getting me up and down from the bathroom to the toilet. He was having to get me in and out of the shower and almost had to shower me. He would have to help me dress. It was getting to the point where I was thinking I was needing him to feed me. I would drop my forks. I was very unsteady with the glass. Again, I couldn't just make it through the day without having to take not just a little 10-minute nap. I would be out for like 6 hours, 8 hours a day. I would be on that couch or in my bed sleeping. Something wasn't right. I was feeling very forgetful. My mind was just really foggy. And I had noticed that this is something similar, and I had these kind of symptoms before, and I asked the doctor about it. It was after, many years after my daughter, again, 2007, I asked the doctor, said, could it be maybe I had a stroke when my daughter was born or something, because something's just not right. And he just said, no, you're a young mom. Don't worry about it. It's just you're keeping up. You're busy in the school. You're active in the community. He just said that you're just exhausted. You need this. And he knew what I was going through I confided in him that we were having a tough time at home. So he gave me some Zoloft, put me on that. Well, that's another story altogether. But going back to 2015, so what happened is I did go to the doctor. After about a week of this feeling worse and worse and just declining, I got into the doctor. Well, with the doctor, they ran all kinds of tests. I got referred to everyone under the sun. No one can pinpoint it. Actually, no, before I went to the doctor, I went to our local chiropractor that's in the area, but he's like an all-around natural kind of guy. He has this little squeaky toy, and he would fix one thing, and then the next day I would just be all back to crazy again. Everything would just be off, and he couldn't figure it out. I was actually going, like, I think it was every other day, just to get adjusted, just to find out what was wrong. And again, I'm not doing anything any better, but he did say that I had fibromyalgia. And he's like, I think you need to see a regular doctor. So that's when I did go see the doctor. That doctor, again, referred me, did all kinds of tests. And he did say he did a Lyme test, but it came out negative. He did, he's like, I think you have fibro. You might have chronic fatigue. You also might have adrenal fatigue. And he went on with another list. He goes, you're presenting like you might have MS. And then he said that you might have, and I'm not gonna say it right. And I know, Miss Peggy, if you're watching this, but Grimbray, and I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry about that, but he thought maybe it was something along those lines, because I am just rapidly declining. At this point in time, Mr. Awesome found a cane for me. I'm walking with a cane. I had to stop working and go on FMLA, and I was not doing so good. I really was doing horrible, and I started feeling like pins and needles in my hands, in my feet. I had numbness. You could probably, well, I know you could poke me and it didn't feel like anything. I felt like there were creepy crawlies all over my skin. In addition to that, some of my favorite clothes I couldn't wear anymore because they actually hurt. They physically hurt. I had to throw them away. Not only that, I felt like I was being burned. There were different parts of my body that felt like, have you ever had a rug burn? You just give me like a thumbs up or some hearts if you've ever had a rug burn. I felt like I had rug burns. Different parts of my body would be affected, and it was the most horrible feeling. I would get hot, I'd get cold. And again, this feeling of just exhaustion, trying to hold a fork, trying to hold a glass, trying to just make it through the day. My head felt heavy. I almost felt like a newborn again. Everything just felt heavy, and I was tired, and I was scared. I did not know what the heck was going on. I just thought, well, maybe I'm dying. After this is months and months are going by, the doctor still has no idea what's going on. He's sending me to this person and that person, and they have no clue what's going on with me. So we went, I had to find some sort of normalcy. And I'm thinking in my mind, and I'm thinking in my mind, if I'm not going to make it to the end of this year, because whatever this is, then I just want to live the rest of my life just happy. Let's just make a go of it. And Mr. Awesome said, let's go out. So we went out to DeMont. There was a little shop there. It's not there anymore, but it was a really cute little shop. And they had all kinds of little trinkets in there. And the gal behind the desk, Terry, talks to everybody, and he makes fun of me, but he talks to everybody. So what he's telling the lady as we were shopping and I'm looking around, I can hear him. I hear my name every once in a while. Yeah, my ears are burning. And he's telling her about what's going on with me. And I can hear her talking back. And on my way towards them, she's like, yes, hey, I got to tell you something. So he goes, yeah, tell my wife about what you just said. She said, Lyme disease is very high in our area. It's just really high. And I said, no, I've already been checked for that. No, don't worry. And she said, no, you need to go to this clinic. It's in Couts. You need to go there. They'll give you a Western blot. That's the test you need. Just get tested. And Terry's like, Mel, what do we got to lose? Really, what do we got to lose? So I made an appointment. I got an appointment the next week. They did the blood work, and I just kind of blew it off and put it out of my head. I'm thinking the worst, something else is going on. I don't know what it is. I'm being treated. I'm on medication for this, that, and the other. And I don't know what's wrong with me. And I just know that I'm failing. And I almost feel like everything's shutting down, and I'm crying and I'm scared, and I'm telling my family my last wishes because I don't know what's going on. I'm telling them, hey, don't have a funeral. I want a celebration of my life. Please don't lay me out. And I'm saying, you just have a potluck at church, or you come back to the house and have a potluck. Everybody needs to smile. Everybody needs to laugh. Remember stories about me. No sadness. And telling my kids, okay, what do you want? If mommy goes, what do you want to have? And I'm making these plans. I'm thinking that I'm going to be gone soon. At the rate I'm going, I think I'm going to be gone soon. And I'm mad at the same time. What I'm mad about is I'm getting to this groove. I'm getting into my fairy tale. And no, not everything's perfect, but I'm having a life that I always wanted. And it's like, why would you? And I was mad at God too. It's like, Lord, why would this happen to me? Why? And I was so angry. It's like, if I'm finally getting the happiness that I want, why would I have this? Dang it, I didn't mean to cry. So why would this happen to me? And I'm not that I'm feeling sorry for myself, but I'm angry because here I am. I have a man that loves me. The kids are doing good. Everything's we're managing. We're getting to a point where we got to groove. I'm finding normalcy. So I'm angry. So I get a phone call. It's Kunst Clinic. They call me and they said, you need to come in. And I said, well, can you tell me what's going on? And she's like, well, I'm not supposed to. You're supposed to come in and we will read your results. Or, when you come in person. So what she tells me, I said, can you, please, she goes, we'll schedule an appointment. I said, can you please tell me? I've already been waiting this long. Is it going to hurt? Is it positive or is it negative? She goes, well, you have Lyme disease. The floor just about fell out from beneath me. I just kind of was stunned. And I started crying. I hung up with her and I said, thank you, thank you, thank you. This was an answer. Why I was falling apart, I had no idea before Lyme. They did a test on me. The doctor told me he did a Lyme test. I was stunned. I had no idea. I didn't know how to act. On one hand, I was relieved. On the other hand, I was devastated because I had read about things that happen with Lyme. There's a lot of deaths associated with Lyme due to heart issues and just other things. So I'm torn. I'm happy because I finally have an answer to what it is. And then on the other hand, I'm thinking, holy crap, now what? How do I fix this? I wasn't quite sure, but I went to the appointment, talked with them, and they said, got me on some antibiotics. I went back to my doctor and I gave him, because they gave me the results and I gave them to him. I went in, again, I have my cane because I'm not 100%. And so I told him, I said, well, here's the paperwork and this is what they told me. I have Lyme disease. He stopped me right there. Where did you get the results? And I told him where I got the results. Well, he had been in some legal issues with this clinic. So he was not very happy with me that I had went to them. And he said, you know what, you had another opinion. And this is something that he had on his wall. If you get another opinion or something like that, paraphrasing, then he can decline service to you. And I didn't know that going in. And I didn't know he had issues with this particular clinic. So he's like, well, I can't see you anymore. I can't help you. Goodbye. That was it. I was so mad. Something just kind of bubbled up at me and I started yelling at him. I couldn't help myself. And the words are coming out of my mouth. I'm telling him how scared I am. And if no one's going to advocate for me, I have to. I'm scared. Am I dying? I don't know what to do. And I'm crying and we're both yelling a little bit. And well, me a lot. And Terry's like, whoa, guys. He butted in. He goes, you guys need to calm down. And the doctor says, you know what? I need to leave the room. I'll be right back. And he left. He's talking to a nurse. I hear him talking to somebody else. Terry's like, babe, you got to calm down. I know you're scared. I know you're mad. He goes, I'm really upset about this too. He's handling it very wrong. And he's fired up too, but he's so calm. He's usually like that. He's pretty calm. So the doctor comes back in after about 5 minutes or so. And he comes in and he apologizes. And he says that he's sorry. And I apologize too. And I gave him a hug and he gave me a hug back. And he's like, well, this is what we're going to do. It was not that I'm really buying too much about the results you got back, but I'm going to give you a heavy dose of Rocephin. We'll put you on an IV. Now this IV is going to be on for a week or 10 days. You'll have to go into the hospital to get the IV. You'll have to have like a little port in, and you'll have to get that taken care of. So I did. I lost the cane after about 10 days. I was also on some herbal stuff too. About 2 weeks. I was not even. I lost the cane. I had energy again. I felt like my old self. Now I still have a lot of the other things, but I didn't feel that dread. I didn't feel like I was dying. I felt so much better. I still have a lot of the symptoms. I'm still tired. I still have the fibro. I still have the adrenal fatigue, the chronic fatigue. issues, but I'm not dying. Well, not any more than anybody else is. But that was such a pivotal moment for me. It was a moment that I took back my power, because normally if a doctor says, well, no, I don't believe that, blah, 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 I probably in the past would have clammed up. I probably would have just took it and just not even thought anything of it and just say, okay, those people are just flaky. They don't know what they're talking about. I wouldn't have gave it a second thought back in the day. But I needed to stand up for myself. I needed to advocate myself. And if you're in that situation, in a medical situation where you just get all these, and I'm not a doctor, but if you keep getting all these medications to counteract this, that, and the other, and you're just feeling so cruddy, you've got no one to advocate for yourself but you. The doctors, I love them to bits because they can do things like I can't. I call myself an aspiring herbalist, but I can't see a broken bone. I can't see a lot of internal stuff. Now I can go ahead and say, okay, I've got a sore throat. I'm going to take some sage tea, or I'm feeling a little hyped up. I can't sleep, so I'm going to take some chamomile tea, you know, something like that I can do. But for some other things, I felt like I was at the mercy of the medical profession. And I wasn't necessarily agreeing with a lot of the treatments, a lot of the opinions I was hearing while I was going through this. And it kind of made me really distraught. But I'm glad that I overcame that I stood up for myself. Again, I wouldn't have done that back before. And I feel like that's a triumph for me. I feel like that was just something amazing. And maybe it was a godly thing, because if we hadn't gone into that store, we would have never known. I would have never found out. And who knows what condition I would be in today. But going back, just through all of that history of how that happened, and even way back in 2007, wow, that was amazing to kind of put these pieces together to find out I have chronic Lyme, because way back the doctors didn't know and didn't test me and whatnot. But fast forward to now, advocate for myself. I do this. I make sure that whether it's an attorney, whether it is a doctor, whoever that professional person is, now I have a voice. I know I have a voice. And if it's not working for me, I can just say, hey, this is not working for me. And we part ways. If it's a counselor or something of that nature, I had to learn to do that. It was so important for myself. So many people I see, they get stuck with these people that, these professionals that they're not happy with, but they keep going. Maybe a parent went there and it's like a legacy thing. Well, my mom went there and, you know, I didn't care for him then, but I'm still seeing him. Or maybe it's a doctor again, and maybe they've got you on all these medications and you think you might want to look at else, but the doctor says, no, we just need to keep you on what you're on. Don't hesitate to question. Not everybody doesn't know everything. Get a second opinion if you need to. Attorney, doctor, whatever it is. Maybe it's an accountant. Just stand up for yourself. Advocate for yourself. I don't know if you've ever felt this way. I felt empowered after doing this. I felt amazing after doing this. And once I got to the point where I was better, now do still strong people intimidate me? Yes, but I'm a work in progress. Again, now I'm not so much going to back down. Now I'll even definitely advocate for my kids, because who else is going to do it? No one else is going to advocate for my kids. And I didn't do that when they were younger. I do that a lot more now, but yeah, it's made me stronger. If anything, I could say Lyme disease has made me stronger. I bet you didn't think you'd hear that from somebody. But I was also reinfected a little bit later down the road. Now they say that there's actually some sort of scent that is emitted that insects can actually smell. You know, I always thought I was a magnet for Lyme disease. And yeah, there is something to it. I don't have the exact story. I'll have to find that for you. But there is something more to that. And Lyme is not going away. It'll always be with me, as it will with many other people, a lot of the people. And it's more rampant than you know. It is all over the place. If you have any questions about Lyme disease, please don't hesitate to send me a message. If you need to know symptoms, signs, or even where I went to get my testing. And I see currently, who I see currently, and he's amazing. I love my doctor, and I'm just so much better. I really am. I'm excited and happy to be where I am now. But please tell me in the comments, have you ever had any challenges, any trials, anything that you overcame? Maybe yourself had some sort of health issue, attorney issue, something that was like really going kind of crazy, a crazy divorce or breakup, but you finally persevered. I'd love to hear about that. So That's Melinda signing off. Again, if you need to email me privately, message me privately, please do so. Don't hesitate. I'm happy to hear from you. I love you, thinking about you, and thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Mwah. Bye.